Shedeur Sanders at 2, Dillon Gabriel at 3, and Kenny Pickett bringing up the rear. That's right, Pickett, the former Steelers starter, isn't even in the conversation. Word around camp is that he might not even sniff the starting job this season. And that brings us to the man currently holding the crown, Joe Flacco. A seasoned veteran, a steady hand, a quarterback who already knows Stefanski's system inside and out. He's also refreshingly honest about his role. In his own words, he's not here to be a mentor, he's here to compete. 39, he knows he's nearing the end, but he's not done yet. Flacco is still slinging the rock like a pro, and the coaching staff trusts him. That's why most observers, including this journalist, believe Flacco is your week 1 starter. But then what? Week 6? Week 7? Week 8? That's when things get spicy. If the Browns stumble out of the gate, or if Flacco starts showing his age, the leash will be short, and then it's anyone's game. Does Stefanski stick with his hand-picked guy, Gabriel? Or does the front office, which may have wielded more influence on the Sanders pick, step in and force their quarterback into the lineup? This is where internal politics become a huge factor. As noted earlier, speculation is mounting that Gabriel was Stefanski's pick. Safe, smart, system-ready. Sanders, on the other hand, may have been more of an Andrew Berry or even Jimmy Haslam selection. High upside, marketable, and potentially the face of the franchise. Trading him would be a gut punch, especially after already saying goodbye to legends like Nick Chubb this offseason. And inside that locker room, Ward has made it abundantly clear. He wants to win in Cleveland. Back in December 2024, he stood beside Myles Garrett, echoing sentiments against a full rebuild. When Garrett briefly flirted with a trade demand before inking his extension, Ward admitted it rattled him. Trading a Hall of Famer like Myles, that makes you question your own future. I want to be in Cleveland, but I want to win. That's not just commitment. That's fire. That's the kind of loyalty that energizes an entire city. Trading Ward wouldn't just reshuffle the depth chart, it could send a seismic shock through the locker room, signaling a reset at a time when veterans are laser-focused on chasing a title. Now, zooming out, because what Shedeur has done during this low-stakes yet high-stakes window isn't just statistical, though yes, he did lead all Browns QBs in completion percentage during OTAs and minicamp. It's about composure, poise, authority, the kind of presence you don't expect from a rookie, but can't ignore when you see it. Picture this. Dillon Gabriel and Kenny Pickett, both drafted earlier, both expected to compete, missed key throw, looked off rhythm. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders, wearing nothing but a t-shirt and shorts, armed with just a few weeks of pro instruction, looked like the guy, not a guy, the guy. And that's not a fan-made fantasy. That's the pulse inside Berea. Coaches, scouts, and insiders are whispering something bold. Shedeur might be the future face of this franchise. And here's the twist. He doesn't fit the stereotypical mold. He's not towering in height. He doesn't have a bazooka for an arm. He doesn't intimidate from the pocket. But what he does bring is exactly what modern offensive minds crave: timing, accuracy, and elite decision-making. He's a quarterback with a point guard's mind. Distribute the ball quickly, efficiently, and let your weapons eat. That's what he did at Colorado under Coach Prime, running a surgical spread attack with icy precision. And now he's translating that same swagger, that same clarity to Cleveland. You can feel the momentum. ESPN Cleveland couldn't look away. Coaches nodded. Reporters murmured, "That kid can play." And this has nothing to do with the name on the back of the jersey. It's about the tape, the throw, the presence. Big news is brewing in the AFC North. News that could reshape the entire landscape of the division and impact the Browns' path to their long-awaited Super Bowl run. We're talking about a seismic shift that might leave one of Cleveland's biggest rivals scrambling for years to come. And you're hearing it here first. But before we dive deep, if you're a diehard Browns supporter, hit that subscribe button to fuel this incredible community. Let's show our unity and passion. Let's help each other hit that 1,000 subscriber milestone. Share this with your friends and fellow Dog Pound loyalists, and let's get fired up. Now, let's get to the breaking news. If you've been following the Browns closely this season, you know the energy in Cleveland is palpable. Under head coach Kevin Stefanski, this team has demonstrated resilience and an unmistakable drive to climb the ladder towards true Super Bowl contention. But what's making headlines lately isn't just the usual offseason chatter. It's a pivotal update that could send shockwaves through the entire AFC North, potentially altering the competitive balance of the league for years to come. Let's rewind and set the stage. Cleveland entered this season with sky-high expectations, especially after last season's near miss. Fans and analysts alike believed the Browns had assembled a roster poised for a deep playoff run. Offensively, led by superstars like Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward, the unit has been stout, while the offense, commanded by quarterback Deshaun Watson, has shown flashes of brilliance. But as any seasoned fan knows, football is a game of inches, and sometimes it's the smallest details that define success. Enter one of the most intriguing storylines of the offseason, the addition of dynamic young quarterback Shedeur Sanders, son of the legendary Deion Sanders. Shedeur, who made waves in college football at Jackson State and Colorado, is drawing attention for his arm talent, football IQ, and natural leadership. Browns fans everywhere eager to see if he can become a future NFL star. And here's where things get especially compelling. Recent updates from Cleveland's coaching staff, particularly from head coach Kevin Stefanski, suggest that Shedeur's progress is not just hype, but a reality, unfolding faster than many predicted. During recent OTA sessions and minicamps, Stefanski has openly lauded Shedeur's work ethic, his knack for absorbing complex playbooks, and his composure under pressure. This isn't just coaches speak, it's a strong indication that the Browns view Shedeur as a legitimate piece of their long-term puzzle. The staff sees him as both a developmental project and a potential competitor for playing time sooner rather than later. That's huge news for Browns Nation because it points to a future where Cleveland might have a dynamic dual-threat quarterback room. Deshaun Watson, the established leader, and Shedeur Sanders, the rising star. But here's the game changer. The AFC North is already one of the most competitive divisions in the NFL. The Bengals with Joe Burrow have been a force. The Ravens, led by Lamar Jackson, bring a dynamic offense and stingy defense. And the Steelers under Mike Tomlin are always a threat. For Cleveland to seize its moment, the team needs to be strategic, innovative, and unafraid to harness emerging talent like Shedeur Sanders. So what does this mean for the Browns' immediate future? If Shedeur keeps progressing at the pace we're seeing, it could mean several things. First, Cleveland might be positioning itself with a contingency plan. If Deshaun Watson struggles or gets injured, they'll have a talented young quarterback ready to step in. That's a game changer, given the Browns' flexibility and a competitive edge. Second, it could shape how Stefanski deploys his offense, possibly leaning on the run game and defense, while gradually integrating Shedeur into the mix to keep opposing defenses on their toes. This is real. Now let's pump the brakes for just a moment. Joe Flacco still looks like the presumptive Week 1 starter. He's the veteran, the known quantity. He's been there, done that, but don't confuse safe with secure, because the distance between Flacco and Sanders is shrinking fast. And if this trajectory holds, don't be shocked if Sanders takes over by midseason. Week 8. Book it. As for the rest, Pickett appears rattled. Gabriel, despite getting first-team reps, hasn't done enough to rise above depth piece status. That's the unforgiving truth of NFL competition. Every snap counts. Every mistake costs. And Shedeur, he's seizing every opportunity. He's rising. Rapidly. But this isn't just about quarterbacks. There's another battle catching fire in the backfield. With Nick Chubb now in Houston, the RB1 throne is vacant. And Quinshon Judkins is blitzing through the door like it's already his. All signs, every camp whisper, every coach's glance, scream the same thing. This is Judkins' job now. He's powerful. He's explosive. He's hungry. And paired with the electric Dylan Sampson, this Browns run game could become one of the most thrilling, aggressive duos in the league. This isn't just a transition, it's a transformation. Cleveland's identity is shifting in real time, a quarterback room reshaping itself before our very eyes, a youthful, vicious backfield ready to make its mark. And in the midst of it all, the eternal force that is Myles Garrett. $40 million, 0 cents per year. Worth every penny. He's not just the best edge rusher in football. He's the fire starter, the enforcer, the soul of this defense. When Garrett goes beast mode, everything around him elevates. Coverage tightens, linebackers fly, coordinators panic. If the Browns are going to make a serious playoff run, it starts with no. 95 terrorizing quarterbacks every Sunday. So I ask again, Browns Nation, how many games will Shedeur Sanders start this season? Is he poised for a breakout by midseason? Will Judkins lead the team in rushing, or will Sampson steal the spotlight? Drop your takes below. Let's light up the comments and fuel the fire. Because make no mistake, the Cleveland Browns are on the verge of a new chapter, and we're witnessing it unfold right here, right now. And while you're here, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because in Cleveland, nothing is guaranteed except the grind. Go Browns. Thanks for being part of the ride. Breaking news, the chatter among fans has reached a fever pitch lately, and I'm here to unravel it all for you. But before we dive in, smash that like button so you never miss a beat. Now, something is brewing in Berea, and it's not just about who's going to take that first snap under center this fall. Right at the heart of the Cleveland Browns training facility, one of the NFL's most esteemed veterans, Joel Bitonio, found himself at a pivotal crossroads this offseason. For the first time in his storied career, the 10-year stalwart openly acknowledged contemplating retirement. A man who's been the backbone of this franchise, a 5-time Pro Bowler, and a bedrock in the offensive trenches. Bitonio's potential departure would have sent shockwaves throughout the league, but what ultimately anchored him in Cleveland? The answer is multifaceted and perhaps more revealing than fans might anticipate. This Browns offseason has already been a roller coaster. They made noise drafting Shedeur Sanders, a potential QB1 snagged in the 5th round. Joe Flacco's back as the seasoned mentor, while rookie Dillon Gabriel enters the fray, creating a compelling quarterback competition heading into camp. Still, this offense needs reinforcements. Losing Chubb was brutal. The wide receiver core is thin beyond Jerry Jeudy, solid but not game-breaking. And the O-line, once a fortress, it faltered in 2024. Jedrick Wills Jr. underperformed, and Jack Conklin battled injuries. Peyton Ward could net a first-round pick possibly used to snatch up Arizona's Detero McMillan or fortify the trenches with a blue-chip lineman like LSU's Will Campbell. But it would also compromise the backbone of our identity, a suffocating defense. And then there's the financial angle. We're talking jerseys and shorts, not full pads. He hasn't consistently faced a first-team defense, but the tools, the reads, the processing, the arm talent, it's all there. And while no one's penciling him in as the Week 1 starter over Joe Flacco, let's be crystal clear. If Flacco doesn't take the opening snap, the only name that deserves to be in the QB2 conversation is Shedeur Sanders. But Sanders isn't the lone rookie turning heads. Quinton Quinshon Judkins is making the game look effortless, as in NFL ready from day one, effortless. The way he's slicing through the defense, the burst he shows coming out of the backfield, it's textbook. Sports Illustrated nailed it when they labeled Judkins as a prototypical NFL running back. This isn't about potential, it's about proven readiness, strength, patience, explosiveness. He's got the complete package. And let's not forget the landscape in Cleveland's running back room. With uncertainty swirling and opportunities wide open, Judkins isn't just knocking on the door, he's about to bulldoze it down. He could be carrying the load for this offense far sooner than expected. Then there's Carson Schlesinger, another young up-and-comer stealthily emerging from the shadows. You don't often hear about rookie linebackers commanding the spotlight early, but Schlesinger is the exception. His football IQ is off the charts. Jordan Hicks couldn't stop raving about his instincts, his play recognition, his ability to drop back into coverage, his relentless pursuit of the ball. This guy is already being whispered about as a potential defensive signal caller, a future green dot. If you're a Browns fan searching for the next defensive leader, you might want to keep your eyes on No 53. And let's not forget Jerry Jeudy, who's not just cementing himself as a reliable wideout, but emerging as the guy in the receiver core. The chemistry he's building with Joe Flacco, it's real. Locker room camaraderie, daily conversations, on-field synergy, it's all happening. Jeudy is proving he's ready to embrace the WR1 role with Elijah Moore out of the picture, and he's doing it with crisp footwork, sharp routes, and the veteran savvy that can transform this passing game into a legitimate threat. Assuming the quarterback play holds up. But for every riser, someone inevitably slides, and the biggest eyebrow raiser, Deontay Hardy. A complete no-show at voluntary OTAs. Now, yes, it's technically voluntary, but when you're a journeyman who's bounced from the Steelers to the Texans to the Ravens and now the Browns, you can't afford to miss reps. Especially not with a new team, a new coaching staff, and a new quarterback room. This was his chance to stake a claim, and instead he's left fans with more questions than answers. Let's be honest, if it doesn't work in Cleveland, where does it work? And then there's the elephant in the room, Deshaun Watson. Harsh? Maybe, but real? Absolutely. Watson was absent from OTAs, and the vibe surrounding his status feels like a slow fade to irrelevance. 2 rookie quarterbacks have been drafted. Flacco was brought in. Kenny Pickett was traded for. The writing's on the wall, and it's in bold font. When you combine his injury history, off-field controversies, and declining performance, the road back to being the guy looks like a tightrope walk. Watson at QB5? That's not just a slide. That's a free fall. And speaking of Kenny Pickett, what exactly is his role in all of this? Is he an insurance policy? Trade bait? Maybe both. He's stuck in a limbo between starter and backup, but the arrow is definitely pointing down. He's QB2 right now, but with Sanders and Gabriel flashing promise and Flacco locked in as QB1, Pickett might just be the odd man out. His 2024 tape? Mediocre at best, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 5 appearances. That doesn't exactly scream franchise quarterback, it whispers backup. And perhaps that's the hidden opportunity here. If Pickett fails to climb the depth chart, Ward's contract hits the cap at $20.10 M in 2025. A pre-June 1st trade would free up around $12.00 M, but saddle the team with a staggering $30.00 M in dead money. That's a massive blow, especially for a player who's consistently produced despite a concussion history. He's missed only 10 games in 4 seasons and logged 19 passes defended in 2024. Elite numbers, even if overlooked by all-pro voters. Commanding the huddle is no small feat, especially for someone transitioning from college systems that lean heavily on visual signals and clap cadences. Gabriel credits his time at Oregon, particularly working with Coach Dan Lanning and OC Will Stein, for preparing him well. It was there he became accustomed to coach-to-player communication, a relatively new NCAA innovation, an experience now proving invaluable. He described the adjustment as akin to mastering a foreign language. Each word carries a vivid picture, and now that he's internalizing it, everything is starting to click. Gabriel's poised demeanor and football acumen are catching the eyes of coaches and teammates alike, but so is his infectious personality. Teammates are gravitating toward his upbeat attitude and competitive fire. Even Shedeur Sanders couldn't resist acknowledging him. Cool guy, he called him. Speaking of Shedeur Sanders, let's set the record straight. This kid is more than just Deion's son. He's making it abundantly clear in the locker room that he's his own man. Criticized during the draft process for perceived entitlement, Sanders is flipping that script in Cleveland. In a viral moment, he was spotted voluntarily organizing Joe Flacco's locker. If Flacco told me to do this every day, I'd do it, Sanders said. It's respect, you feel me? This wasn't mere locker room protocol. It was a statement. Sanders is showing that he respects the hierarchy and understands the team dynamic. It's earning him respect inside the facility and reshaping perceptions outside of it.